Well, hey, welcome to the Tell Me More podcast. I'm Andy. This is my wife, Jessica.
Hello.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We have with us Eddie and Jean Franco. We're super excited. We'll introduce them in just a second. But before we do that, if you are joining us on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you give us a shout out in the comments. Let us know that you're watching. And any questions you got, you can ask there. But how are you guys doing tonight?
Very well.
Yeah, y'all doing good. Did y'all get in any of the slip and slide stuff? Did y'all go down the slide?
No, I got sprinkled a little bit. I got a little close to the splash zone.
Yeah,
but
they tried to hit me with the fire station or the fire truck, and I avoided it miraculously. I don't know how I avoided it, but I did.
Well, you almost had a couple of guys that go ahead and just pick you up.
They
and put
attempted.
you in there,
Our
so.
producer, Kenny, who's making everything happen over there, attempted to try to get me wet. And hey, man, you reap what you sow. So just keep that in mind. But no, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. For those who don't know you guys, tell everybody a little bit about yourselves, because everybody sees Eddie all the time because he's the guy in the fish tank.
Yes.
On Sunday morning. But tell us a little bit about yourselves. How long have y'all been going to church here? What's serving look like? Because you guys have both been integral to our church. Share a little bit about that.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
How long? I don't remember the times very well.
We've been coming here since the youngest daughter was about 4.
Mid 2004 then.
Yeah, about 2004.
Yeah.
And I've lived here since 95. He's been here since 74.
74. We moved here in 74, and we'd visited the church before it was here at the other location many times, like youth rallies and all kinds of stuff. So I've, as long as I remember, been associated with the church, but definitely a long-time resident of Ulysses.
Yeah.
And
But we made the Assembly God Oasis home in 2004, and that was a really good move for us. We know our kids needed more depth in their walk, and that was our decision.
That's super cool. Wow, 04. That's crazy.
Long time.
And you guys have done tons of stuff here. Y'all are our resident expert group leaders for small
Yes.
groups.
That's right.
If you've
You're the
never,
group everybody wants to go to.
if you've never been to their group, the best food is at their group. I know because I go to almost all their groups every semester, and it's like Thanksgiving every week. I don't know how y'all aren't 400 pounds. Like after eating with y'all, I don't know. Y'all must work really
fast
hard.
For 2 weeks, and then we eat.
It's so good. It's so good. But it's a good time. It's a great group.
As a group leader, I have to try everything too. I can't just like have.
Oh,
couple
yeah.
of- I have to
Oh,
try
yeah.
everything. It's I don't want to make anyone feel bad, so it's the responsible thing to do.
Yes, it is the responsible
responsible
thing.
thing.
It's the weight of leadership.
It's
I felt the same way with the homemade ice cream today.
Yes.
I definitely tried about 5 and got the crap out of there. It was
All you've tried?
man.
Oh my God!
I
you
was
failed.
Yes. It was
I
so
tried 5
I had a big bowl and
At
then
a
7
time.
cups. I mean,
Yes. For those who weren't
I mean,
here
there were
this
21
Yeah.
though. There was a lot.
It was a lot
It
of
was a
ice
lot.
cream.
For those who weren't here this morning, we had it's our 5th annual. It's 5th time we've done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
We didn't always call it Splash and Sweets, but we've done
we did the ice cream thing.
a homemade ice cream competition every year in some form or fashion that we've been here. And this is our 5th summer here. We'll be here 5 years in November, but this is our 5th summer. And I think we had how many flavors?
21.
21. Yeah, that's
Like Baskin Robbins.
I know.
yeah, that's 31. But I mean, close
close.
enough, right? Like we're just
I mean,
to let
pretty
that
good
roll.
still. Pretty good.
But I mean, it's in all fairness, I haven't seen a Baskin Robbins in like 20 years. So
Well, there's 2 locations in Garden City. I just saw them yesterday.
there you go. That's funny.
Yeah.
So you've served in, like, you've led groups, you've served in kids for a long time. What's that been like over the years? Because that's a long time to serve at a church in that area. Kids ministry has shifted a ton over the years.
Yes.
Do you have any good? I'm putting you on the spot, but do you have any good favorite stories from kids ministry, from kids time?
No.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
No.
Some of them you can't say on the air, like publicly.
It was on the spot.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough.
Elena Mencia says Jean equals GOAT kids volunteer extraordinaire.
Yes, she is called the general sometimes in staff meetings. That's not a joke.
She gets those kids at 9.
Yes, in a good way. Yeah, I didn't even think about that being bad. I meant like
I'm not selling insurance.
yes. Oh, I forgot that's an insurance brand.
Oh, that's funny.
But no, I mean, it's a big deal to have veterans in kids ministry, people who have walked with kids for years. That's a big deal for their discipleship. And
I really, really love to allow the kids time in worship to be able to grow and develop their
That worship muscle.
that worship,
Yeah.
where they feel free raising their hands, or where they really enjoy, and where we talk about what the songs mean and why we sing the songs. I love to see them grow that way, and I love to see them develop and capture and understand what's going on, and to get them thinking about, why is it we do this? Why do you think? How is this going to help you later? And I'll tell them stories about when I was a little girl and what I would do when I was a little girl and stuff. And not that, I mean, it's been a while, but it would be, I'm not just dictating. I personalize it for them, but
no, that's good.
I like to watch them and the lights come on. I like to see lights come on in their brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
That's good.
Eddie, you serve on worship, probably how most people would recognize your face, but you also have a lot to do with the facility that we're in. Like, you have a lot of you in here. Probably, if you've walked around the building, most of the things that are unique in the building are you. So, I love that. Like, there's such a cool personal touch to how you've served the church aesthetically, and it's a really beautiful thing. What's your favorite thing that you've built for the church?
Probably the loft, I think.
Okay.
But the cross was also like I've always wanted to build it, and I've done a couple of them since I've been here. But it's for me, I have little bucket lists of projects I'd like to build. A boat is one of them, and I even thought about building like half a kayak and hanging it on the wall in the bathroom of the men's bathroom. I think it would fit well in there.
Yeah.
But I think the loft, seeing it go together, go up. Not the loft, the gazebo thing.
The pergola.
The pergola,
yes.
Yeah,
I think what was most impressive about that, it looks cool, but watching that when we put that up, that you actually built tools to make sure that it went up seamlessly.
Yes.
I don't think nobody I know would have thought of that the way that you did. I mean, it was so well planned out just to execute it, to get it in the air, which was super cool. That was super neat. So let's jump into. We forgot to talk about the other fascinating part about Eddie. Yes. You did gig. No, that's not where I was going. Eddie had two different gigs this weekend, so he's rocking and rolling. But y'all are also our neighbors. I remember when we first moved here. For those of y'all who don't know, Eddie and Jean's second oldest daughter, Josie, her and her husband were pastors here before, and I remember us looking at the house going, do we want to live next to the in-laws of the former pastor? Like, how's that gonna go?
That's a good idea.
Like, how's this gonna go? But honestly, it has been, and I don't know that we've ever actually talked about this. Eddie and Jean are like the perfect neighbors because they're super helpful, they're super hospitable. They also mind their own business, so like you don't feel obligated every time you see each other. But it's been very, like, you guys have just been incredible neighbors,
Thank you.
and it's been we've talked about it multiple times. Actually, I've had friends that I've told, you'd think it'd be. Like
it'd be
odd,
weird or something.
but it's been so nice, and y'all been such a breath of fresh air. Just understanding like how to be helpful neighbors. They had to break into my house a couple weeks ago while we were on vacation, and
your mom saved his finger.
Yeah. So he broke into our house, and I drove his finger to the hospital. So we've had lots of experiences together. That's such a funny way to say that. I totally forgot. I wouldn't have even remembered that had you not said that. But good memories all the way around. Well, let's jump into the text this morning. Is it getting hot in here, or is that just me?
It might be just you. You put your jacket on.
That might be it. Jacket's coming off. Have y'all ever been in like old school Pentecostal churches where the pastor takes the blazer off in the middle of the message?
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like that
With the pompadour.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to have a monitor to throw it over, or it's not real. But let's jump into the scripture from this morning. Romans chapter 8, verse 22 says, For we know that the whole creation has been groaning together in the pains of childbirth until now. And not only the creation, but we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Spirit groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for adoption as sons, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope we were saved. Now, hope that is seen is not hope, for he who hopes, I lost my place. For who hopes for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience. This is the word of the Lord that we read this morning. I'd just love to know, first thoughts, comments, platitudes from our time together this morning. What stuck out, all that good stuff.
So you discussed groanings, which is an awkward thing to talk about, really, when you think about it. A lot of folks, they don't want to be uncomfortable, and you discussed that too. They don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to have to wait. They want to do what they want to do. They want to do what they want to do. They want to do it now. And you can't give birth that way, naturally.
Yeah.
You can't build a house that way unless you're getting, a snap together one. But anything worth having is going to take a little time.
Yep.
You mentioned, and I didn't bring my notes, but I made note of what you said. You said that you can't control. You said it.
Can't be in control of everything.
You can't be in control of everything. You just cannot.
Yeah.
And to think that you can call all the shots, sorry, I removed myself. You diminish the best that God has for you when you try to make things happen, because our minds will only see what we see, what we can imagine. But what if His always exceeds our imaginings. His blessings for us always exceed beyond what we could ever. You didn't plan on coming here and not having a moving project or a building project in this church when you came.
Yeah.
So you were able to walk in and just breathe and teach and restore and go forward and get great neighbors.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things. See, how could you imagine all that?
Yes.
But so if you were trying to control everything, you would have put yourself in a certain neighborhood at a certain place or try to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people that would have known, like from a personal level, from a career perspective, most people would have put me in a spot where you have to build and you have to do, because we had done so much of that prior to coming here.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I said before we started, it really did feel like God was honoring work that we had done by letting us come to a place where the facility is beautiful. What's funny about that is almost all of my friends get irritated with how good our building looks on a regular basis.
Oh, that's so nice.
Because they're in buildings that are all 50, 60 years old. They're still trying to figure out how to come up with money to replace the orange carpet, all the stuff. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I have a friend that watched the podcast a few weeks ago. We were on staff together in Florida, and he's now lead pastor of Panama City, and he said, I hate you. And I said, why? And he said, because there's not one ugly thing about your building.
No.
And there's truth to that. And it was a gift to walk in to a situation. And I don't think anybody goes, hey, I think the place we want to end up is Southwest Kansas.
No,
45 minutes from a Walmart,
Thank you.
But I will tell you, what has made it so significant for us is the people here are just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And there's you can build a lot of churches in a lot of different ways in a lot of different areas, but man, the people are what make it incredible.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you're building church-wise, it's about the people that are in the facility. And the thing that makes this place so special is that. And had we been very controlling or decisive about where we went, there are things, most of y'all would never know this, and it probably is embarrassing even for me to say it, but most of y'all probably don't know, most of y'all probably do know, my mom lives with us. My parents got a divorce a few years ago, and it was sudden. We weren't expecting it, and not 2 weeks after we knew that my parents were going to have to move in, Eddie helped us completely renovate our basement to just make sure she had a place that was ready for her to move in. Man, people don't get that in their church. Like that's not normal.
No.
But it is an over-the-top blessing that reaffirmed, man, God's present, God's aware of what we're walking through. And in that, like, y'all don't know. I mean, we told you as best as we could, but y'all don't know what that did to our soul in a season that was just funky for our family personally. And it wasn't just Eddie. Like, it was several people. We had John Duran. We had Dennis Martin. We had Bruce that came up, and that just all worked on the basement. And like that is such a beautiful picture of what the church is. In general, but also what the church is meant to be.
Yeah.
That's
But what the church should be.
But if we'd have been real tight on being in control about where we might would have picked a place with different scenery or something like that. But man, God knew what He was doing when He put us here.
He did.
So that's really good.
Because we needed
Gene.
sassy.
That's really good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I mean, this community's just been so kind to my mom moving here and all of those things, and that's a beautiful picture of the body of Christ at work in a beautiful and unique way. And I'm just telling you, that's not everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
That's not every community. That's not every place. And having pastored in Georgia, Florida, Oregon, and now here, I can tell you, that is a rare gem that's beautiful here. And so that's really well
That's
said.
what makes people want to stay and want to be a part, because they know that they're appreciated and that there's people that will care for them and people that will love them, and that's a huge part of that's what church should be. That's what community is supposed to be. And we don't find that everywhere, but it is definitely unique here.
I love what a mentor of mine says. He says that the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it.
Yes.
And like the place that you invest in and that you're a part of. And when you look around this community, you do genuinely see a group of people that are just so invested here. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And that takes me right back. That grass is greener comment takes me right back to your original question. What stood out for me? One of the things one of the thoughts that I had was, there's so many things that we do. Like I don't like doing laundry. I don't, but I love having nice folded, clean clothes, and so I do it, and I do it like I love it. I don't like cutting grass necessarily, but I like having a nice manicured lawn. So I do it, and if you learn how to do those things you don't like necessarily, you do them like you love them. It changes your perspective, and that's one of the things you were talking about today of the things that we have to put time into that we don't necessarily like or that cause that growing. I mean, I have to accept when I'm going to mow my lawn. I have to accept in about 45 minutes my knee is going to be hurting for the rest of the night. I just accept that. I do, and
that's funny.
But I do it anyway.
That's funny,
and not because I love yard work, and there's some people who that's their thing. They love it.
I don't understand those people.
Yeah, I don't get it. But you learn how to do those things those things that really work, and you do that in a church setting. I'm sure that Bruce doesn't like doing sheetrock work, but he did a lot of good. did a lot of good
That's
sheetrock work in
He
your basement.
did.
That's true.
He did.
There's a lot to be said for learning to trust that God's way is better. And it's interesting.
Being patient with.
I read a stat that was so interesting about houses. Probably I think the stat's about 3 years old now, but I read it about a year ago that said people are buying, the average house for a family in the 70s was 1,100 square feet. Like that was the average home, which is interesting because we also had more
bigger families.
Kids. Yeah. My dad grew up in a house with 4 siblings, and my grandparents were moderately well off, but their home was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and there's no way it was more than 1,500 square feet. I mean, it was not in today's standards large by any stretch, but people are buying quicker and they're buying significantly more houses. And that's an important thought because they're also buying them earlier in life. And the reason for that is that the mentality is, well, I'm an adult and I have kids, so that must mean I am in the position to buy a home. And no, actually, that's not how that works. Actually, that's not. And you see so many folks, because they're trying to do it their way, they're trying to do it in a way that makes sense to them rather than asking for wisdom and discernment. They're putting themselves in boats that they pay for issues for 10, 15, 20 years because they just weren't ready for it. But
that's true. We live in a country we have so much affluence that we don't have to defer those things.
Yeah.
That we can buy those bigger houses. The younger people are getting good jobs and buy bigger houses and have less people living in them. But they don't have. It seems like they're not having to go through those groanings.
Those growing pains.
That really are designed to teach us things, to bring us to a
Yeah.
certain place. And that's one of the hard parts about ministering and reaching people in our particular country.
They're rushing through whatever they should be
well, we have been
going
trained
through.
Yeah.
We've been trained to think that we deserve it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that there's we don't deserve anything that we don't earn. There's a reality that, hey, if you hadn't put your hand to it, you don't actually deserve it.
Right.
Which is an old line of thought, but it's true, and it's one that keeps us grounded and out of trouble.
Yeah. Well, you learn to appreciate things more
Absolutely.
too. If you struggle for it, if you build your own house, you sure as heck appreciate everything about that house because you built that house.
When you got kids throwing cars at the baseboard, like,
no,
I just paid for that.
I did that. I built that.
I stained that thing. I painted that. Your appreciation is a little different. But-
Yes.
So they're rushing through, trying to get the end result and trying to get what they want, as opposed to allowing the growth they need to.
They get right past the growing pains.
Yeah, past the
They don't
growing
have-
pains. Yeah. They're getting insta.
Well, and some of it's that we just avoid anything that's uncomfortable.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We avoid. There's actually. I read a thing several years ago talking about car brakes, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I found it fascinating. So I hope it's true. It was in the New York Times. It has to be true. Because all of their random information is typically on point. But the article said that there's something that we put in brake pads, or at least used to put in brake pads, that takes the whine out of brake pads that you experience in like every other country, and we only hear it when our brake pads are low. But if you go travel to South America, Central America, to Europe, brakes are a lot louder.
Really?
Yes, but what we put in our brake pads to shift them like that actually causes them to wear faster in America. So in order for us to be comfortable, we actually spend more money on brake pads over time, because they wear differently around the world. Now, that might not be true anymore with the globalization of the world and how things operate, but for a long time that was true, that we did specific things that the rest of the world didn't. And it just goes to the conversation of how much we are pain averse or discomfort averse in our own culture, which is a problem because pain and uncomfortable situations are often what create the most maturity in us.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of people just think that discomfort equals bad. Like, well, then this must be wrong. This is not right, and we don't actually work for the things that we should have in life, the way that we should be, the characteristics that God has put. We don't work for those things. We don't change because that's too uncomfortable. So we're just going to do what we're used to doing. And that just creates more chaos and more just people that are unwilling to change and unwilling to move forward and unwilling to mature. And that's kind of a dangerous place to live in.
I just gave a message a few weeks ago at my brother's church, and the title was "The Gift of Pain," and the idea of the gifts. I know you always do 3 things. I want to give you 3 things. I had to get 5. I couldn't. I was like, I hope he doesn't hear this. But I had to get 5. But there was like 5 specific gifts that you get from pain it's a real deal. I mean, it's certainly you learn to appreciate things better. You learn compassion with people.
Yeah.
That's a real deal. We need to. Sometimes, I mean, nobody wants to be in pain.
No.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's there, and what am I getting from this?
We used to tell leaders in youth ministry, because we did youth ministry for about a decade. Hey, listen, remember, the reason that teenagers are so rude is because they don't have grace yet. Well, they don't have grace yet because they hadn't been through anything.
Yeah.
I mean, so you take a person in how they treat people, regardless of their temperament, from 16, 17 to 22, and there always is a more understanding, gracious perspective because they've just done more life. And there are always exceptions to that rule. There are some people that just naturally have more empathy. But even those who were very empathetic at a young age tend to grow in that over time.
I remember years ago, my brother Homer and his daughter Heather, even as the youngster, had a beautiful voice. She could sing. She could bring it. She could. And I remember having a conversation with her. I said, you know what? You have an outstanding voice. I said, but in the future, after you've had your heart broken a few times, you are really going to bring those songs to life. And I don't think she really liked the comment at that time. But there's a reality with not just her, but that kind of growth.
There's truth to that, though.
It does. So.
There's truth to that. Yeah. There is, it bothered me when I was younger, but there is a truth that learning from people's pain who've lived longer than you, whether they're still alive or not, that there is a gift that comes from that. However, some of that you just can't get from a book. Some of it's you just have to have walked through it.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Well, I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, I mean, some of that is not all pain is bad pain. And I think the challenge is, like, if we look at what we talked about the week before this Sunday, I think the challenge is you either have people who want to take everything that happens to their life and say, oh, this is all from the Lord, and every single aspect is always from the Lord. Or you have people that just want to pretend like no pain is good, and so we should always avoid it. And neither one of those things are true.
I was at a women's conference several years ago, and Priscilla Shire was speaking, and she was saying that she was talking to the ladies, and she said, you guys are rushing through. You are wanting to get through in a hurry, and you're not just stopping and saying, okay, hang on, Lord, what do you have for me to glean while I'm going through this that I can apply, that will help my growth, that will help someone else, that will make me more effective for the kingdom.
Yeah.
And I had to stop because I was of the same mind where I thought I have to get through this because the kids were all little at the time. I'm like, I got to get through this.
Yeah.
It was hard. But I remember thinking at that moment, I'm rushing through this, and I'm not asking him, what do I need to modify, change, do better? What do I need to take from this? What do I need to? So I'm not as introspective as all that. But I remember that moment where I was like, okay, I need to slow down, Lord.
And I remember that time in our life. I remember a conversation we had, and I'm like, you're rushing through your life. One of these days, the laundry's all going to be folded. The house will be clean all the time, but the kids are going to be gone. And one of these days we're going to be there. But you're wishing your life away. If you're not careful, you could just wish those moments that you could. There's so much to be had there that we miss so much.
And I do.
Yes.
I have had those comments where like I was too busy.
Yes.
I was too busy, But
You said something a second ago that I think is important to process through. You said, I'm not as introspective as all that. There are probably some people that are introspective naturally. And those are jerks. You know what I'm saying? Like those are terrible humans. I actually think most people, it is a discipline. I can remember sitting in rooms with pastors and leaders and hearing people talk about journaling and doing this and that, like they just always have that.
I fall short there.
And I remember thinking, how the crap does that happen? But it's a discipline. Like everything else, it is a discipline. And I think the more we're intentional about it, the more the more we do it on purpose, the more natural it eventually becomes.
Yes, I agree.
Because I definitely was not introspective in my 20s. I don't think anybody's introspective in their 20s, but I definitely was not introspective in my 20s. And but it's become something over time that's just been an absolute discipline. And there is good that's come out of that. Even doing it, it is a growing pain because I just finished a degree program and knocked that out. But it required me, in order to do that time, I had to wake up at about 4:15. In order to do time with the Lord and then do time in school. And it would have been a lot easier to sleep till 5 and get up and do school.
Right.
But that was just the requirement. And I made it a discipline because I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose that space and lose that discipline. And it was beneficial through the program.
Yeah.
And I bet you've grown to love that time in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And it's been a discipline. I mean, I love that time with and coffee in the morning.
Yes.
And I like to have my first cup of coffee, not thinking, not trying to do anything at all. It's my time to to be introspective.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. Well, I get up running off the bed.
Yeah, and
I'm not rushing
she's
off the
cleaning
bed to do
things. She's putting this is not here, and I'm like, I don't want just.
Yep.
I leave them alone.
Nobody's awake. Yes, ma'am.
We've got a question.
Okay.
It says, why do some people experience more pain than others or harder lives?
I can offer a thought, but I'll give it to you guys first.
Yeah, that's really about a fallen world than it is about a risen Christ. And I don't. Some people, you're right. It just seems like, oh my goodness, they just keep going through it and going through it, and I will never be able to unpack that. It's bad things happen to good people, and good things happen to bad people. It's hard to say. I would love to hear kind of where you're at.
So I think there's two dynamics to it. I think Scripture tells us that good and evil reign on the just and the unjust, and so it's this idea that good things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people, and there is that reality of the fallen world. I do think though. And this is a pastoral thought, and if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. But I think sometimes we don't take enough credit for some of the situations that we find ourselves in.
Absolutely.
And so there has to be sometimes. I mean, there are things that happen to people that have nothing to do with them, and that is a reality of brokenness. But I also think sometimes, if you're constantly finding yourself struggling with the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, that is probably a sign that there's actually something in you that perhaps is causing that. And so if you always have chaos in your life all the time, and you're constantly ready to pull your hair out, man, that's a problem.
What are your habits?
Yeah, there's a common denominator there.
Yeah.
If you take something like, say, diabetes, there's that causes pain, that causes so many problems that people
Side
and
effects.
they're real struggles. And this is something that on the message I was talking about earlier about the gift of pain.
Yeah.
Sometimes we develop a resistance where we don't feel that pain. As a matter of fact, it feels good. Diabetes tastes delicious when you have an ice cream eating contest. It's awesome.
Yes.
But you keep doing that and you keep doing that, and those things you're breaking things down.
Yeah.
And that's not just diabetes. That's in our prayer life. That's in all over our lives. If there's something going on that we keep doing it and we don't feel that pain anymore, and all of a sudden it's there, and we are missing an arm or we're missing a leg. it's a reality.
Yeah,
It's- oh,
we
go
all have struggles, but what matters in life is what we do with it.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yes.
are we going to overcome it? Are we going to give it to God? Are we going to press on, or are we going to go the opposite direction? Are we going
Right.
to sulk? Are we going to be the victim, or whatever?
So the word of-
all matters what we do with it.
Right. The Word of God says that Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So what is he trying to kill, steal, and destroy in your life? Is it your walk with the Lord? Is it your faith in Him? Is it your trust in Him? Is it your testimony going forward? Is it the way you help somebody else through something? I mean, I'm not saying it's on that person, whatever they wrote. But when you're in a place that's hard and not good and not fun, are you letting it consume you
Yeah.
in a negative way, or are you fighting and with the Lord looking to overcome those tumultuous feelings and those feelings of despair and those feelings of angst, and or are you looking to, it's hard, that sacrifice of praise. There have been days when it was a sacrifice to praise because I was not feeling it. There
Yeah.
was stuff going on in our life. There was stuff going on in our home, our marriage, whatever, where